Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Rivero, and for my behaviorist biography, I did Dr. Jesus Rosales Ruiz. Introduction. Dr. Jesus Rosales Ruiz is an associate professor in the Department of Behavior Analysis at the University of Texas. He obtained his PhD from University of Kansas in 1995. He has worked with different behavior analysts to study human and animal behavior. In the articles I read, he has studied stimulus equivalence, fluency, behavioral cusp, and human development, generalization, and the effects of verbal behavior as a practicing behavior analyst. The first article was on behavioral cusp. Behavioral cusp is behavior change that gives access to more significant behavior as well as other environments. Behavior cusps are socially important. He also states that it occurs at any stage of one's life, and the outcome of the changes determines what will happen next. So, for example, having a toddler learning how to crawl will lead that toddler using those skills to learn how to walk, or simply to get access to another place. For the second article was called Loading the Problem Loader, the effects of target training and shaping of trailer loading behavior of horses. So he studied how to shape behavior with loading horses. And some behaviors that were observed before conducting his study was headbutting, turning sideways, pulling back, even getting hurt themselves or the trainer would get hurt. In the study, he used positive reinforcement, which were edibles such as apples, sugar candies, carrots, to create that behavior change, and which he succeeded. After trials, they saw that with these reinforcements, they slowly had the horses load to the trailer. Dr. Rosales Ruiz saw the importance of loading. He saw that it was a behavioral cusp because it led the horse to a new environment. This led to fluency and generalization as well. Next article is Functional Analysis of Treatment of Self-Injury in a Captive Olive Baboon. Dr. Rosales Ruiz studied self-injurious behaviors that can cause a judgmental health to those who are captured in a cage. In his study, he does this study by studying a baboon who is captive in a cage, and the baboon demonstrates these characteristics such as biting of the hands and feet and pulling hair. He was investigating the reason why these behaviors were occurring, and Dr. Rosales Ruiz concluded that self-interest behaviors was influenced by the attention of people. So Dr. Rosales Ruiz, to change the behavior, he used the DRA to replace the self-interest behavior with lip smacking, something that the baboon did, and lip smacking was an appropriate behavior than the self-interest behavior. The next article, Programming Common Stimuli to Promote Generalized Question Asking. In this study, Dr. Rosales Ruiz worked with a child with autism. He and his colleagues researched how to increase generalization across different tasks. The participants were taught to ask questions in a variety of tasks. They used verbal praise. Generalization is very important for a behavior analyst to utilize because the target behavior would not work if you're reinforcing the child with one type of reinforcer, such as edibles, but applying a natural consequence as a reinforcer. course it could help. For my fifth article, called The Effects of Support Communication Training Workshop on the Verbal Behavior of Behavior Analysts. So for my last article, Dr. Rosales Ruiz focused on verbal behavior. He addresses the effectiveness of training behavior analysts to utilize supportive behavior to someone who is in a distress situation. So by teaching them to use empathetic and hopeful language. And they made statements for those behavior analysts to use for the client. Behavior analyst feedbacks were utilizing the empathetic and supporting statements to the client during that stressful situation was helpful and helped serve them better. But certain situations and using the supportive statements were invaluable because they felt like one has to be able to connect with that person at their level. But overall, it did help and it was successful by using supportive communication skills. So for my interview questions are, what led your interest in applied behavior analysts? Do you prefer to study the behavior in animals or humans? If so, why? What are the biggest challenges you faced in the field? Do you have a memorable experience in your clinical practices? And do you have plans for other studies? Why is this person important? Or why is his work important to the field? So Dr. Rosales Ruiz I see him as a leader. He's a teacher, a researcher, and he's there to help and guide other people who are studying the same field. Dr. Rosales Ruiz demonstrates the importance of his studies and findings and the importance in working with other people or animals. He's there to help make change to their behavior. He shows us techniques to help shape behavior and the effectiveness of verbal behavior, which is what we need to use and apply when working with our future clients. I very much admire Dr. Rosales Ruiz. And these are my references. Thank you very much.